On March 8, 2014, the world awoke to the news that would send ripples of confusion, fear, and sorrow across the globe. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, a Boeing 777, had taken off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, bound for Beijing Capital International Airport. The aircraft, carrying 239 souls, passengers and crew alike, vanished from radar less than an hour into its flight. In the days that followed, what began as a routine flight transformed into one of the most perplexing aviation mysteries of the 21st century. As the sun dipped below the horizon that fateful evening, the plane ascended into the clear skies, leaving behind the bustling city of Kuala Lumpur. Among the passengers were a diverse group of individuals: a young couple on their honeymoon, a family heading to Beijing for a vacation, and a group of business travelers eager to close deals. Each of them had their own stories, their own dreams, and their own reasons for boarding that flight. Unbeknownst to them, they were about to become part of a narrative that would captivate the world. The flight took off smoothly, the engines humming a familiar tune as the aircraft climbed to cruising altitude. In the cockpit, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah and First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid communicated with air traffic control, their voices steady and professional. As the plane flew over the South China Sea, a routine check-in was made, and everything seemed normal. But just minutes later, the tranquility of the flight shattered when the plane inexplicably deviated from its planned route. At 1:19 a.m., the last voice communication from the cockpit echoed through the airwaves. A simple, "Good night, Malaysian 370. This would be the last message anyone would hear from flight MH370. Moments later, the aircraft disappeared from the radar screens of air traffic controllers, leaving behind a void that would haunt families, investigators, and the world for years to come. As the hours ticked by, search and rescue operations began in earnest. The Malaysian government, in collaboration with various international agencies, launched a massive search effort. The initial focus was on the South China Sea, where the plane was last detected. Helicopters and ships scoured the waters, hoping to find debris or survivors. As the search expanded, it stretched across vast stretches of ocean, from the coast of Vietnam to the southern Indian Ocean, where the plane was ultimately believed to have flown. Days turned into weeks, and the initial hope of finding survivors began to wane. The families of those on board were thrust into a nightmare, grappling with uncertainty and despair. They gathered at the Malaysia Airlines headquarters, clinging to hope, demanding answers and seeking closure. Each family had a unique story, a personal connection to the missing passengers. Some were filled with anger, others with sorrow, but all shared a common yearning for knowledge. What had happened to their loved ones? As the search continued, the narrative shifted from one of hope to one of speculation. Investigators began piecing together the last known movements of the aircraft using satellite data. The Inmarsat satellite system, which tracked the plane's communications, revealed a series of pings that suggested the aircraft had veered off course and flown south into the Indian Ocean. This revelation marked a turning point in the investigation, leading search teams to focus their efforts on a remote area of the ocean, far from the original flight path. The search for MH370 became a global endeavour, drawing in resources from multiple countries, including Australia, the United States, and China. The ocean was vast and unforgiving, and the search area was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Ships equipped with sophisticated sonar technology scoured the seabed, while underwater drones dove into the depths, searching for wreckage. The days turned into months, and the search area expanded, but still, no trace of the aircraft was found. Meanwhile, theories began to emerge. Some speculated that the plane had suffered a catastrophic mechanical failure, while others suggested hijacking or pilot suicide. Conspiracy theories flourished, fueled by the lack of concrete evidence. The absence of wreckage only deepened the mystery, leading to wild conjectures about the fate of the passengers and crew. Each theory was dissected and debated, but none could provide the closure that families so desperately sought. As the search dragged on, the emotional toll on the families became unbearable. candlelight vigils were held across the globe, where loved ones gathered to remember those lost and to demand answers. The media coverage was relentless, with news outlets broadcasting updates around the clock, capturing the world's attention. Yet amidst the chaos, the families remained steadfast in their pursuit of truth, refusing to let the memory of their loved ones fade into obscurity. In July 2015, a piece of debris washed ashore on Reunion Island, prompting a renewed wave of hope. The fragment, identified as a flaperon from the Boeing 777, confirmed that the aircraft had indeed met a tragic end in the Indian Ocean. This discovery reignited the search, but as more debris was found, pieces of the puzzle that hinted at a tragic conclusion, the reality of the situation settled in. The ocean, vast and deep, had swallowed the plane, leaving only fragments behind. The search officially ended in January 2018, after 3 years of extensive efforts that yielded little more than a handful of debris. The official report concluded that the aircraft had likely ended its journey in the southern Indian Ocean, but the exact circumstances surrounding its disappearance remained shrouded in mystery. The families were left with unanswered questions, their hopes for closure dashed. They had fought for answers, but the truth remained elusive. In the years that followed, the story of Flight MH370 became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictable nature of the world. It sparked discussions about aviation safety, technology, and the need for improved tracking systems for commercial flights. The tragedy became a symbol of unresolved grief, a testament to the enduring love of those left behind. Every year, on the anniversary of the disappearance, families gathered to remember their loved ones. They shared stories, laughter, and tears, keeping the memory of those lost alive. In their hearts, they carried the weight of the unknown, but they also held on to the love that had once filled their lives. The world may have moved on, but for them, the search for answers never truly ended. As time passed, the narrative of Flight MH370 evolved from one of despair to one of resilience. Families formed support groups, finding solace in one another's shared experiences. They became advocates, pushing for changes in aviation regulations and demanding accountability from airlines and governments. Their voices grew stronger, echoing in the halls of power as they sought to ensure that such a tragedy would never happen again. The mystery of Flight MH370 remains unsolved, a haunting enigma that continues to captivate the imagination of many. Documentaries were made, books were written, and countless discussions took place, each adding another layer to the narrative. The ocean, with its depths and secrets, kept its silence, but the stories of the passengers and crew lived on in the hearts of those who loved them. In the end, the tale of Flight MH370 is not just about a plane that vanished without a trace. It is about the enduring human spirit, the quest for truth, and the unbreakable bonds of love. It serves as a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, hope can flourish, and the search for answers can inspire change. The legacy of those who boarded that flight lives on, woven into the fabric of history, a testament to the lives that were lived and the dreams that were lost.